Morning, everybody, and welcome to the Trade the Pool live stream. I'm back again here today with Mitch. There he is. How you doing, Mitch? You all right?
Oh, I'm excited, ready for another day. It was another green day yesterday, so ready to keep the streak alive. Let's get after it. It's Trade the Pool, guys. Smash that like. Let's get it started.
All right. Well, I was just looking there at the overall market this morning and looking at the NASDAQ still creeping up there. I've had this sell side pull sitting up there since April the 22nd. And it's finally got up there, also in line with the top of a channel that it's kind of been swinging between right now. So it's questionable now what will happen. Is it going to punch up for new highs, or is this sell side going to hold with the top of the channel? Similarly, I've got this buy side down here now created from these lows on the 1st of May up to the current highs. We've got a micro one in our way here, along with that VWAP that's still tracking from non-farm payrolls. You haven't really tacked into that nicely yet either. What do you see, Mitch?
All right. Well, I'm looking around this morning to see what's going on. A lot of action moving around out there, guys. The American swing, that was probably one of the best. It's closed now, guys, but just took a little quick profits on that. But American doing well. Going to be paying attention to a lot of stocks that are moving out there today. A lot of earnings came out, so we'll take a look at Datadog, Palantir, Walt Disney. Look at what's going in the House of Mouse. Yes, there's some mouses out there, guys. Walt Disney down big off their earnings. We'll take a look at that action. Palantir trading lower after soft revenue guidance. What is going on in Palantir? Definitely some issues after yesterday's kind of big rip. Coming down now, down to 22.23. And, of course, we'll take a look at what else is making noise. Looks like Apple coming out with some AI talk. Wouldn't you know it? Definitely. It looks like AI chips in the work. Of course, Apple needs some kind of movement to kind of get them back in the game. Of course, their services have been going down. iPhone sales have been going down. They need something. Maybe AI spin can get things going. So that's kind of the wrap up of the big news out there. Of course, we can go to some smaller names and take a look at some earnings. Of course, we'll also touch some small cap names out there. So if you guys are looking for a small name, let me know on the chat and we'll definitely review it. Scott, what are you seeing, at least maybe in the news case? Any big stocks standing out to you today?
I'm just looking at them here. I've got AIRE, CMND, and also Dave was up here earlier. Seems to have disappeared. That was just on there not 10 minutes ago. So we'll see whether they're the up-gappers that are coming out at the moment with the associated news. Let's have a quick look at AIRE. That was okay. So that's been bound in between sell side and buy side pulls. We just tacked into that buy side pull in post market, which caused a run up to the sell side there. Sell side from that last 179 high down to 96 the lows. Let's have a look on a smaller time frame. Yeah, so definitely a tap into that now. So to see if this has got anything else on that play, I'm looking here. Yeah, we're right in that buy zone now. So this is the one. So we're creating these stair steppers. We didn't tack into this yet. That's from the post-close, post-market low to the post-market high. So this one's still sitting here. But currently the pre-market buy zone sitting right in there. If that one breaks, then maybe it's going for that lower down at $1. But don't know how much we're going to get out of that, given where it is right at the moment, smack in the middle. It's just kind of like maybe 30 cents, 20 cents to the upside or downside at the moment on AIRE. CMND, that's tapped into a benchmark just in the pre-market. Nothing on this in the post-market. Got a second benchmark up there at 230. Looks like actually it's just put in that. Let's take this one. It's just tried to do that top that I kind of like and couldn't close above. So we've got this sitting up here as sell side liquidity. So that's the area that's got to pop if we are going to get anything higher than that. Otherwise, are we still down here all the way? Yeah, no, we've gone higher on that than when I drew it this morning. So that pull now comes up to about 140 if we can get a play down. If we reject again on this on the open at 175, we could get a play down to 140 before we start looking to see if we can get any buyers on the tape for CMND. What else we got? Just quick look at Dave. Dave was on there. Dave's very sparse on liquidity though. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm too interested in Dave. Dave has spiked to buy. Actually, how long has that been there? It's been there quite a while, this guy. It's yeah, I mean, to me this is like a completed trend. That should be done for me. So if it rips from here, it can go on an absolute supernova, carrying on from $8 up to 54. We got a first red day yet? This is going to be, yeah, we did have a first red day here, but we're now above that, so that's negated that first red day play on Dave. So we'll see if we can maintain above that benchmark there on the open. We'll keep an eye on Dave. What else you got, Mitch?
Yeah, looking around right now, I did see in the chat they wanted to talk about Celsius, and I think I need to go get a Celsius in a little bit, get myself woken up. But definitely Celsius holding the energy drink that has been rocketing, getting hit on their earnings. So they came out with the earnings at 27 cents, beating the 18-cent estimate. But then sales missing here came in at 355.7. The estimate of 389, so pretty decent miss there on the sales side of things, definitely affecting Celsius. But opening cut down after that release, right now climbing back towards that close of yesterday. I'm going to look to see if we reject around the level of support from yesterday, maybe let's say the 78, 79, and then start working our way back down as I feel like this could fade off, especially after such a big sales miss. Maybe we start to see a decline in this area, but we also got to be careful. Coke had come out recently and was climbing in this space, so soft drinks were starting to get a little bit of a lift, the industry overall. So I'll keep an eye out to see what happens there. I'll show you guys the index here that I have. You can see how it was looking like it wanted to break out here in soft drinks. One that is also on my radar as of late is cocoa. So in the same space in the soft drink area, this one looking like it wants to bunch up and start making a move to 28 and higher. So if these are higher and strong, let's say also Monster, right, is one of the biggest leaders in this space. We'll see what happens with these stocks. Will they start to decline? Monster's an especially important one because it's, I would say, the most related to Celsius. We'll see what happens with Monster right now. Lately, it's been sideways. We'll see if it takes some downside action today. All right, and that's Celsius. I did want to talk a little bit quickly about Disney numbers. Disney, why it got hit hard. Of course, the changing in subscribers is really affecting this stock as it's coming down after their earnings. Subscriber change in the last couple of quarters. All the year-to-year numbers from the total Disney subscribers continue on what? A declining action. And that was supposed to be what would really lift Disney's value, right? Was Disney Plus. It has turned out to not be that case here, and Disney taking a big beating and could continue falling down, as I feel like this is a nice kind of head and shoulders pattern now. You can see the left hand side, left shoulder, right shoulder here, and of course our head at the top. Now I see it. Now let's see if it breaks that neckline, comes back to that neckline, and then we'll be looking to see a rejection from that. So let's say maybe around the 110, 112 area for potential short on Disney. We'll see what happens there.
You got anything on earnings today? Anything of interest on earnings, please?
Yeah, there's a lot, of course. Earnings today. Uber Technologies will report tomorrow before the bell. So that's going to be on the radar. Whenever a stock is going to report, I pay attention more than the day that they actually reported, because the day they actually reported, the value has been kind of driven from either the pre-market or the aftermarket hours. So stocks like Uber are going to be on the radar today. Shopify. This is one of my favorites, man. I'm kind of annoyed I didn't get this at 45. I talked about this for a long time. This is going to be one of those that I'll probably look back and be missing out on. We'll see what happens on Shopify. Of course, trades really closely with Amazon. You can see Amazon propping up for a nice pushback after their earnings. This doesn't look bad at all. Airbnb, interesting play, right? I've been trading American Airlines. This has been a nice move since the 120 recovery. And now we're really starting to kind of just bunch up here. Let's see if with the earnings, it can really get moving and see if we can make a move to 164 today. That'd be a good move there for Airbnb. We'll see what happens on that one. And just one more to give you guys, and there's a couple out there, right? Even Beyond Meat. AMC on Wednesday will report after the bell. You got after the bell also Rivian. Rivian. This one's an interesting one, guys. Really starting to prop up here. But of course, EVs have been struggling. There was news about Tesla struggling, some sales struggling there. So Rivian definitely on the radar. We'll see what happens with Rivian. If this one could get moving, of course, an $11 stock, something to watch. Do you like Rivians? Have you ever seen one, Scott?
No, never seen one.
Yeah, they're interesting. I like their truck. Their truck is actually interesting. The SUV, not maybe the biggest fan, but it's not a bad truck. And I get the Amazon trucks, the Rivian ones. They deliver every day here. So,
oh really?
You know how that goes. Yeah, man, I see it all the time. They're have like the big electric lights, and you can kind of tell the difference with those big old headlights in the front. But yeah, that's one reason why I believe in Rivian, because in the long run, they've gotten it right with Amazon. And if you can just figure out how to make these EVs profitable, that's really the key. It's all about margins.
Those lights are funky, man.
You see them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super funky, man. Here, let's bring you up. Let's take a look at it right quick. You see? There you go, the R3.
It looks like, from the front there, it looks like, well, this is the R3. This is the mini one, yeah. But that,
yeah, no.
From the back, I was thinking that's the Range Rover. Then I see the front of it. I'm like, I'm not sure I'm into those lights, but the back, it looks all right.
It's interesting. Let's just say that much for sure. But it's good to see you guys in the chat. Definitely smash it up. We're going to get after it today. Ready to do it like we do every single day, right? Start at 9 a.m. Let's get after it and see what we can come up with. I see in the chat a couple of names coming up here. Maybe we can go ahead and grab one. I don't know this one.
He's in.
Yeah, we got some new people in here also. It's good to see you, Matthew. Welcome to the show. If you got a stock you checking out, let us know. We'll take a look at it. And of course, all the loyal listeners out there, Scott, Dave, Trader Life, Kevin, Staple Eater wants to take a look at ICCM. This is a smaller name. Definitely getting some action moves out there. Do you see this one, Scott? ICCM?
ICCM. That was that? We took a look at that a couple of days ago. Oh, a few days. Jeez, that time flies. A couple of days ago. I see that as backside because it just can't stop. Yeah, it can't just get past that 170 level on this one, can it? And it's just kind of done it. It's again, just didn't even, quite make it to there. It's just pop in every time. Yeah, it's still got 160 and 170 going to stop this one. And I don't think it's going to attempt to do it again. If you look back historically, it kind of just does those pumps and then comes down and then doesn't come for another look, does it? From the back, it's like a run up and a drop. And it's almost in that pre-session or in the session, regardless when it does it, it doesn't seem to want to do it twice, does it?
No, it doesn't. Major beaten down stock today to maybe watch for some pushback is a Datadog. That's one that I'll definitely just mention out there. Keep it on watch, guys. Down, 8% in the pre-market there after getting hit off of earnings. But ICCM, the smaller names, always going to pop up. So if you guys ever see a small name or any name you guys wanted to take a look at, like always, the chat's right there for you guys. Hit it up.
Trader Life, let us know what you're looking at today. You always come up with some rippers. So let's see what you've got going on today as well. Throw them tickers in the chat.
So Scott, have you gotten your morning workout in?
Have I done my morning workout?
Yeah, man. Come on your Peloton, of course. As Peloton is going higher, man.
You've been planting those cameras in my garage, right?
I got you, Scott. You can't hide from me, man. You can run, but you can't hide. Peloton, of course, getting a little lift after being mentioned for a potential equity firm to buy it out. I think it's like, man, imagine if Peloton would have sold in like 2020 in the pandemic. I mean, like, this company should have definitely looked for a way out, because if they would have looked for a way out then, they could have made a killing instead. Now, what are they going to be able to sell for? Maybe it's $5, $6, $7. I don't see much more than that. So just be careful out there. Definitely buyout rumors coming in here for Peloton. That's going to give it a lift today. It will be on the radar. And of course, it's a retail favorite, or maybe hated now, but we'll see what happens there in Peloton if this can get a lift.
The banks were putting those Peloton bikes in their kind of basements and in their gymnasium rooms to try and entice people to come back to the office after COVID. But I think they're all sitting there pretty empty, bar some.
Hey, that's how it is, man. Peloton, it's how it is exactly. And I mean, everyone wanted to stay inside, but as soon as they got the chance, they went back outside, man. So I don't know about the Peloton. What do we got a comment here? You're stressed out by the stupid buys. Which ones? Which one are stressing you out? We'll take a look. All right, Trader Life coming in there. Looking at Tesla for the pop and fade. Peloton and BVS for the same. Let's get it, Scotty. All right, there you go. Trader Life coming in. You know he doesn't hide out there. I love it. Tesla, one to watch. Remember yesterday, what were the levels we were looking at? I was looking at for like 186 for the reversal. It ended up going in the afternoon towards 185, like 40s. So we didn't really get back there to that 186 range, but definitely still faded off of that level. Tesla continuing to struggle, and it's all about a game of margins here. But this is so important. Will we fill the gap, right? Because we could still fill this gap right back down after gapping up, right? And so there's this still pocket that I feel like we need to fill first, and then we can take that next step in Tesla. So does it mean that it's coming back to 140? I don't think so. But can it go back into, let's say, 175? Yeah, I think that's a potential for it to fill that gap. We'll see what happens there in Tesla. What do you think about Tesla, Scott?
Let's have a look. I was just looking at PVN there. It's
PVN. Okay.
Let's have a quick look at Tesla. From yes, so yeah, channel bounce from fake out yesterday down into a buy side pull, and then what do we got on the smaller time frames here? All right, so this morning, I'm going to be looking out for those best execution levels where they're going to be. They're going to be up there at 185.22. That's where they've been before, and down there at 177. So that's a place as to look for, interim shorts up there. Shorts up here and longs down there at 177. And then there'll be some form of liquidity pullback after that, I imagine, and then whether or not they'll go for their benchmark. So the minute just been acknowledged, the sell side pull there, sell side here, and then that opening is going to have to make a decision between that area and the other area. The switch on's acknowledged down here. That's going to be your buyer side pull. So we're looking to see if we can get through one of these pulls and get down to best execution, then come back for what will then be a new liquidity pool. Because if we drive down to 177, this pool that's currently sitting up there is going to come closer and closer towards kind of 180, 182. So we'll keep an eye on that, but we'll see if the Open's got enough to bust out of one of these areas at the moment on Tesla.
All right. Smaller stock. I don't know if we've mentioned this one already, Scott. Maybe I missed it, but ESPR, you got that one on the radar?
That's another one. So they're all coming back for kind of second win. But didn't we have this last week or not? Let me just check.
Yeah, this one had
earnings. Oh, no, SPR. No. Yeah, this is an earnings.
Yeah, this is earnings. And it's an interesting one. 34 cents on the EPS beat the 5-cent estimate. So big miss there by the estimates. When the estimates are that far off, that's when we can have a stock make a move, especially like a smaller stock like this, where the analysts essentially just have it wrong, right? Like they're not making the right call. The company's making a pretty decent amount of money. Could have been a little bit of an adjustment there. But then you look at the sales. Sales at 137 million beat the 84 million estimate. So still, big beats on both sides here for ESPR. I'm actually looking at this right now. I think it's interesting. I would love for it to just hold this area right here, right? It's trying to build up a little bit of volume, a little bit of probably some buying support down towards the 230s and some selling into the 240s right now. I want to see this kind of pop right out the gates through that 240 to 250. Then we can start to see this get strong. And I can use that 230, 220s, 227 area as a support or an out. We'll see what happens on ESPR. What do you like on there?
Banging the buy zone there as well for me. So yeah, that's just a case of listening for that on the tape, and if it comes on, then we give it a go, I think.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, what else did we have on there? BVS. What's on BVS? BVS earnings as well. 200% surprise on the revenue, on the earnings, and a 9% surprise on the revenue. Let's see what we've got here. This little indicator right down the bottom here. See what we've got. Yeah, right smack into benchmark 2 there for this already. So it's just going to be a case of looking at the pools for this. Let's just let's bring that in, see what we've got. Is that the switch on? Yep, we'll use the one before the switch on. Bring it down. Okay, so the sell side is going to be sitting up there between 525 and 545. Sell side sitting up there. And again, if we can use that buy side pull, if we're going to take a look at those highs, it's almost tapping into it again as well. So if we can get that pop down into this, like a nice drop into that 450 area would be nice. Then hear that on the tape and try and get involved with that as well on BBS. What specifically are you looking at on that Trader Life then on BBS? Let me know.
AbbVie mentioned in the chat. Drug manufacturer. I haven't heard that name mentioned in a little while. We'll see what happens with that one. It's just on the pullback. The 200-day moving average right underneath it. So Steve bringing in some names. AbbVie, Carvana. We talked about that one yesterday a little bit. That one's had a nice gap up. And so it's holding that gap right now. It's on its own little island. Doesn't look too bad. Another one that I was watching yesterday, a firm that's in the space. This is one that I would definitely keep an eye out. Maybe it gets this 9 EMA pullback and then another lift, but definitely setting up for like a long-term trend line breakout. The most important part is look at the volume. It's fallen off, right? And so I need to see that breakout with a nice little increase. We'll see what happens there. And Mullen, the Mullinator, don't get caught with cavities, guys. Mullen here, definitely hanging in there still. But I definitely will be looking for this one to start to crack. And when it cracks, it'll be fast. So be careful out there, team. Who knows? Maybe we come after Mullen. They eventually kind of hit this right back down. We'll see what happens in Mullen Automotive, MULN. Woo! Lots going on this morning. Lots going on. It's 9:25, guys. Almost 9:26. We got about 3 minutes or 4 minutes to the bell. Definitely smash the like.
Trader Live's got BVS pop up to 5:45, then fade around 9:58 to 10:03. I love that. I love that. So specific on the time. Well done, man. All right.
Yeah. I mean, you got to know those times, right? I mean, I think it's very important. Those 10 a.m. shifts happen often. You gotta know those times, right? Another thing is the 9:45 time is also another important one. 15-minute opening window, right? That first candle closes. Some people use the opening range trade, right? So they just use that bar, and I think that's what comes into play with that. So just to kind of think, right? There's always a psychology and maybe a strategy behind something that you're seeing in the market. So I look for that all the time to maybe find why. What's the answer, right? Well, the whys are important. Let us know if you guys have any questions. We can always talk about that. There's never 100%, but something great to keep in mind. All right, definitely smash the like, guys. We got a great amount of people joining us on YouTube today. So if you can do us the favor, if you're new to the show, or maybe you're just enjoying the show here, hit the subscribe button down below. Let's get some new subscribers today as we keep pushing every single day here for you guys. Always pushing regardless, even if we're live or not. You guys can always reach out to us and hit that subscribe down below. Let's get after it today. And if you guys have any names you guys are looking at, we'll continue to watch. Right now, of course, top mover in the kind of the market that I'm also looking at is Dexcom showing up on the scanners. So some bigger names definitely trying to make a little bit of a lift. Will Starbucks wake up? We'll see if this can start to turn around. Let me go to Starbucks here. This has been on the decline. I'm looking to see if this will turn back to the upside, but definitely something to watch. Datadog getting crushed this morning. That might actually affect some of the other ones out there. Maybe we start to see CrowdStrike take a little bit of a pullback. We'll see what happens on that. PanW, what's up with the cybersecurity stocks? They're trying. I remember when I played this for the 300 break last time, it failed right here. We'll see if it's able to hold the 300 break today, and that's in PanW.
All right. Quick look over at what's been going on. Let's quick look before we hit that bell. We've got so MTC's been seeing a large amount of money flow pre-market. JMAI, that's just very, very close to a benchmark 2 right now, 630s. Then you've got the CMNDs we've been looking at, ESPR, ADTH, and obviously RIVN's also on there at the moment.
All right, getting after it, guys. We got about 1 minute towards the bell here. Excited to get after it. And yesterday was able to bounce back with that Apple short. And so we'll see what happens with Apple today. But definitely nice play yesterday on that Apple short. We could find some buyers today, of course, with the AI mentions. Let's find out what happens on Apple. Yesterday was able to nail it down all the way to the 181 range. So let's see what we can come up with today. Also, still watching a little bit of the cannabis land to see if that's going to ever wake up after a couple of sideways days. But sideways sometimes is a good thing. We'll find out what happens here out the gates. But you guys know what time it is. It's almost time for the bell here. We got about 30 seconds. What's your top play to watch today, Scott?
I'm having a little look short GMIA if it doesn't just crash on the open. And yeah, I don't know. We'll have a look at Disney as well. And Peloton. I like Peloton as well.
All right. Not bad names at all. Definitely going to keep an eye on it. And who knows, maybe we're able to make a little bit of money and buy a Peloton itself. Let's get after it. I wouldn't mind the bike. I mean, the bike doesn't look too bad. I don't know about the other things or the other services, but you know what time it is? It's time.
It's time.
Let's get after it. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's see what we can come up with today. Let's go. All right, guys. Time to get after it and see what trades are showing up. Of course, right out the gates, I'm going to be kind of focusing on just looking to see what's making a move out there. If you guys see anything that stands out to you, let me know, team. ESPR on my radar here. I'll let you guys know if it turns back around from that 230 area.
Disney just popped into that buy side liquidity, rejected at 105.90. Let's see if it can press any further into that level. Tesla chose the sell side to pop to first. Remember that best execution still up there, 185.04. So the question is now, does it make that push for down there at 172 or not? But that's definitely rejected 83 up there.
Looking around, guys, trying to find what's making a nice move out the gates here. I'm seeing Fortinet as one of the ones that's showing up on the scanner. But definitely let me know if you guys see anything fast moving. But definitely Fortinet, nice little lift there. That's going to push a little bit of some other companies. So we'll be looking to see what happens in other names here. CrowdStrike, names like that. PayPal and Square. Square was on the move yesterday. Let's see if it starts to make another move today. That was a nice little buy if you were able to nail that yesterday. Maybe PayPal starts to follow as it didn't have as good of a day yesterday as Square. So a lot of times I trade those hand in hand. Square had a good day yesterday. Maybe PayPal has a good day today. We'll see. That's on my radar, guys. I would love to see it pull back. It just did the VWAP bounce push. So that's a pull out here out the gates and then a pullback to that dotted line, breakout above. So now at this point, I can maybe look for a 66 pullback, 65.90s. We'll see if that can get that. And PayPal, nice little lift out the gates. CMND, pop. All right. There's some names out there moving, guys. Let me know if you guys see anything.
Sell side. Sorry, Mitch. Rejecting off that sell side on CMND there.
Nice. Let's see. PayPal starting to get a little lift there. Square getting a little lift. So that one actually seems really interesting. ESPR now back to the 240 spot. Can it go and then take the 250 spot? I'm looking for a small little pullback to the 237 spot. I'll take a shot there on a small little pullback here to get ESPR starting to move here. See if I can get a little pullback to the 38 to 37. It's already getting bought. Wasn't a bad one in the 230 range here. So you see how it held that kind of buy area that even Scott mentioned this morning, and now starting to kind of push out of it. Doesn't look too bad there. ESPR.
All right, Tesla just tacked into that buy side. So kind of what we thought might happen there. It's gone for that sell side liquidity, now gone for the buy side. But those best execution levels still for me are up there at 85, 14 and 77. So let's see if it can push and give us some form of either consolidation play down here. But let's see how it handles this buy side again.
Rivian getting smacked. Tesla getting smacked, guys. So trap out Tesla. That was a trappy open there, man. What a trap. Rivian getting smacked also, guys. Look at that Rivian chart. Yeah, that's why I went immediately. I was like, Tesla getting wrecked too.
That's just them lights. That's just the lights.
Yeah.
Just the headlights. Man.
Yeah, man. Definitely didn't get the charge in this morning. It's like when you forget to plug your car in, right? You know how you forget you plug in your phone? That's one thing, right? You can maybe charge it when you get to work. You can't plug in the car and expect to get to work now. So, yeah, we forgot to plug in the Rivian last night. So we'll see what happened. ESPR it's trying there. It's not a big mover, I think, on the day, but it could maybe get a couple of pennies there. We'll see if this can start to get the lift. Peloton back underneath 4. So this is kind of the spot that maybe you get some buyers to step back up. But, I mean, it's Peloton. It could come right back down through that spot. How's Airbnb doing today? That's a nice little lift to start. No one's on the radar for sure. Square staying strong. PayPal will look for some pullback action there. What's going on with the overall market here? SPY kind of hanging in there. Let's go to the sectors in the industry. Defensive leading here, then technology. This is conflicting, right? There's not many times you're going to see defensive and technology leading the market here, guys. So it's like value and growth is doing good right now. So that tells me to maybe look to see what switches, what goes into red by, let's say, 10 a.m. I'll let you guys know what I see going to the red. Target with a nice little lift to start off. That's not a bad one to keep on watch. Discount stores definitely in play today. Costco, we'll see what happens on that one. DG with a nice little lift and pull back here.
MTC just halted there at 34 minutes and 18 past the hour. It was smashing through its acknowledged its benchmark 1 in pre-market, sitting at the bogey level right now where the halt is, but the benchmark 2 for me is up there around 420. Anything above that could go supernova on MTC, but let's see what we get around that $4 mark if we can get up there after that halt.
AMD with a little bit of a trap out the gates here. I'm going to look to see if some buyers step back in, but a little bit of a trap on AMD here. Why do I feel it's a trap? Look at the hourly here. See how it popped above it? Now it's kind of recollecting here. We'll see if it recollects. But it went to 157 out the gates and now pulling back. Look to see if some buyers can step up here at 155. I want to see it pull back to 155, then come back for that 157. That's AMD to the upside. We'll find out.
Tesla made its decision. Looks like it's going to go for this 177. Let's see if it gets down there, or whether this is just going to fake below that buy side. But it's definitely favoring the sell side right now. Let's see what we get at this level.
Oh, Celsius, man. It popped right into the kind of the closing action and came right back down. So you could look for maybe a little bit of a pushback here to 76 and then another fade. But Celsius fading off from the open and from kind of the after hour action, it went right to that 81 and then rejected it. Hard rejection there. ESPR still kind of like just stair stepping higher. We'll see if that one can make it to the 250. Also looking in the scanners to see what else I can find.
G-Sun running. That's all I've got on the tape right now. Oh, it's this reverse split run. Okay.
Okay, MTC on that halt. We'll see when it unhalt. Should be opening up pretty soon there. IWM, how's that doing today? Kind of hanging in there. I'm keeping an eye on that because that could help some small caps if we get a big breakout there. All right, now I'm seeing technology slide down. Remember how I told you guys at the gates I was going to watch to see what happened with defensive and technology? Now technology down just slightly into the green here. So defensives look like value is an area that I will be watching today. PG, Costco, Coke maybe on the comeback. We'll see what happens on some of those names. How's my Cocoa? Not doing much. Packaged foods. Walgreens Boots Alliance. Remember the last time I traded Walgreens? Man, that thing is down. Whew. Walgreens looking like being Bed Bath and Beyond. That's what this is looking like. Man, they're not doing it right in Walgreens. Basic materials leading higher today as one area to kind of keep an eye out. Let me see what's moving in here.
Yeah, got it, Shane. Just a quick look back. G-Sun is on the run, broke out of its kind of accumulation zone down the bottom there. I've got $5, $5.50 as benchmark 1. Bogey level will be sitting in there about $6.50 and then $7.50 on benchmark 2. Question is whether it's just kind of, I did just throw that on there, whether it's just tacked off of that or not, but it's definitely all I'm hearing on the tape up to 425 was the last time it hit. So let's see.
All right, guys, I like EMPH. I'm going to be looking for some pullbacks into some solar names to see if this can really get moving. It's been trying to load into that. Solar has been beaten down. I'm looking for a pullback to 115. And how's PayPal doing out there? It just pulled back. Let me see that one. Yeah, that 65.90s was a nice area. See if I can get 66 here. I missed that pullback on PayPal. There's some smaller names building.
Yeah, great, Scott. Yeah, looking at that as well. BVS is just working its way off of that buy side liquidity pull down. I'm just waiting to see if I can get it on the tape though. Money's got the mobs over on GSUN at the moment, so I need that to either kind of fail for that mob shift across. Yeah, GSUN's still on there. So now tacked into that level there at 5, or just off 492. What was that level? Yeah, there or thereabouts. Let's see if that keeps pushing. Not one red bar down there just after the open.
Trying to be patient in PayPal, look for one more pullback, and then I'll jump in on that. AMD went right back up to 157.75 and then pulled back. That's playing a trappy game out there with AMD. Be careful out there, team. Trappy indeed. Q's pulling back to the VWAP. We'll see if that comes right back up here, or will we get some downside action? Apple strong out the gates today. That's actually not looking too bad. SPY and Q's looking very similar.
So ESPR punched that 220-ish level. Rejected off that. Still nothing on the tape on that either. But both ESPR and BVS look nice for another push up to test those highs.
Adobe down, so it's a little bit of a mixed noise today. See the leaders. Yeah, Microsoft down, Nvidia down, Google trying to bounce off the VWAP there. Doesn't look bad there, right off of that kind of 171.25.
Peloton halted.
Peloton halted. That might have been that private equity deal. Only question is, where did they?
It's just resumed, actually. It must have just resumed. I've got that. I think I've got a 30, like more than a 30-second delay on this right now. I had a 4.2. Oh, we got 9:41. Yeah, I don't know what that was. It doesn't seem to be like a circuit breaker. It wasn't even 5 minutes. MTC resumed.
All right, there's PayPal pulling back a little bit here. All right. PayPal's on my radar for sure, guys. I'm trying to get this last pullback, create that kind of third area here. So somewhere in here, I'm looking for a little pullback in to go ahead and take a shot on PayPal off the bottom of that. But I wanted to get into that spot first, because if not, then I can just easily get stopped out if it comes to that area. We'd like to see Square stay strong, and you can see how Square's pulling back right now. So.
Oh, missed. Okay, Disney just pulled off of its buy side down there. Nice little push a little bit further down and then out. Let's see. It's got a break. It's just tacking into where its sell side is. So it's got a break above that 107.50. It wants more upside today, but else it's a good sell right here.
That MTC is making a nice push. Resistance into this, what is this? The 486 area. So it could come back to that 486, went to that 464. MTC, big mover today. Big mover, guys. Be careful out there.
Taking a starter on Peloton.
There you go. Let's get you out, my friend. Peloton, flex. Flex.
Off the bike and into the stock.
There you go. Maybe back to the bike. Oh, Mullen is cracking. Thanks for the heads up. And man, I said when that thing cracks, it's going to be a fast one. That thing went 50 cents in about 10 minutes. So,
whoa,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for this to come back, though. You can't chase Mullen. That's one thing. Either side, I feel like, that's like asking for it. So now I'm looking for it to come back to this level, this 540s, 550s. And then it could really reject, right? And so instead of chasing for it here, I'm just going to set an alert. When it comes back to that level, I'm ready to short and probably hold off the 580s. PayPal just holding in on that 65, 66 level. It could just take off now. We'll see what happens. Didn't really get into my buy spot except that one time that it was in the 95s. That was the area that maybe could have gotten it for the kind of what I call the VWAP bounce play. But we'll see what happens now. ENPH is one that I'm looking for pullback, and look at that thing. That thing just got hot, not pulling back one bit. We'll see what happens there. That's a solar play. You can see solar here. Doesn't this look very similar to that ENPH chart? And this is an index. So I think it's important to catch those moves like that. So that just tells me, like, look in solar to see what else is doing well today. iSun. Let's look around. Let's see. EMPH. NXT. Let's see some of the smaller names here. First Solar, Maxen starting to get a little bit of a lift. Run. So these plays, I'm seeing that at least some Solar is making a move today. Defensive plays have been strong and stayed strong. Coke with a nice little lift there. Let's see. KO. Yeah. Not doing too bad. Celsius is back up there, guys.
My bad. It wasn't Peloton. It was Plutonian acquisition that got halted. PLTN, not PTOing. Thank you very much.
Oh, it happens. It happens to the best of us out there, man. All right. I'm liking this one right here. All right, let's try to do it, but with a smaller amount. So we can risk about $1 here. This is Celsius. What's this level here? Okay, 76.24. Okay, I'm going to look for one more pop trying to get through this high here, and then I'm going to look for the rejection. So try to get to 76.65, reject right back down on Celsius. Let's see if it comes back down. It's a strong area right now, so that's where I got to be a little bit careful.
Just shorted G-Sun.
G-Sun, all right.
Yeah, it's a bit of an aggressive one, but it is that play. It's the one that's been on the tape all morning, so I'm a bit nervous on it, to be honest. But it's done that tap to that bias, that's benchmark up there. It rejected quickly off of that sell side. So I like it when it rejects off of there. Target down here at 359. But if it comes back in on the tape, I will cover. I don't want that 480 to break because I know I've got that other benchmark up there at about 750 to 8. So I want to flush off this level down to 360s just for a cover off that. If I can get it.
Not much, man. Not much. That Celsius already just like kind of went way too fast there. I could have maybe taken the shot in 76.
Okay, Jason, I'm back on that tape.
All right, looking around, guys, trying to find a decent play here to get after it. SPY coming down here, so you could see a little bit of some pullback. XLU, man, you guys are going to hear me talk about this consistently, right? We talked about this sector a while back, and yesterday it had a little bit of a pullback day, but look at this sector, guys. Like, there's something going on here, like an overall trend, and this is where, like, you know, some people would just make their money, right? Like, look at this utility player, NRG. Not many times you're going to see a play like that, just continuing to rip. Southern Company doing well today, so I'm keeping an eye on these. Duke was one that I could have come after yesterday. Got it at 100, and it's back to 101s and starting to get the lift there. So I know it's not the sexiest play, but look at Nextera, the leader in the space, really starting to push in the last couple of days. NVIDIA dropping, says Scott, and yes, it is dropping a little bit. I did see the Qs kind of drop there also, so maybe we start to see a little bit of a decline on the day. The stronger stocks, those are the ones that I'm looking at right now to see if they can stay strong. So the big boys, right? Microsoft, Apple, where those start to break. Google did do that little VWAP bounce there. Look at that. Right off that dotted line, right back to the top. That's a play that I do often. Tesla faded down. Fade. The opposite. So you see how Google here is to the upside? The same play happened, but to the downside on Tesla, where you get that downside break, back to the dotted line, rejection from the dotted line, right? Same thing on Google here. Big breakout to the upside, back to the dotted line, back to the top.
CMND just took a little bit of a flush as well.
SMCI going down also, so we could start to really see the kind of this SQQQ trade maybe start to heat up. Financial services struggling a little bit there, but Bank of America back to the upside there. JP Morgan. Okay, let's go to the coal players. I did see basic materials up. Problem with the coal players is the spread's wide, man. It's wide. How are the oil names? I know they were struggling. Oil was down big. Tried to make a pop up, couldn't get going there. All right, guys, it's 9:53 coming up in a little bit. We will be doing our trade segment here. Maybe you guys can get me going here. So look around, guys. Try to find some tickers that you guys like out there for trades, long, shorts, and start dropping them in. We'll start collecting what stocks are being mentioned, and then I will take a trade for you guys at 10 a.m. But just keep dropping in those tickers so that we get them to start flowing. And we'll take a look at it as that's coming up at 10 a.m.
Covered GSUN. It ripped. So GSUN getting that money flow from the mob still today up there. It's just gone to the top side of that benchmark. I'm going to leave that one alone for the minute there because it's still got a ways to go if it can get it.
All right, PayPal coming back, and I'm not able to get PayPal on the breakout to the upside, so I'm looking for a reload on Square as that starts to prop up, but that doesn't look too bad either. PayPal now to 66.33s. Doesn't look bad. It's definitely doing a nice little move today. It got bought up here, holding, now taking that next level. We'll see if it takes 66.45s. It's in credit services also, so not a bad area to maybe look at to see if there's some stocks that are doing well there.
Peloton's edging up here into the sell side. This is the one that I've got to kind of clear if I'm going to get any more upside to this this trade. So if we can see some volume on this bar, that would be nice to push us through. Jeez, I'm back on the tape again.
What's up? Let's see some of the smaller names, see what I can find there. That BVS is just stuck.
Nice bullseye. Well done. Bullseye is green at $130 on GSUN on that push up.
And the volume just died on that BVS. That's what happened
On BVS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just got murdered there. Peloton recovered 4. Trying to hold the VWAP there. We'll see if it starts to make a move.
Where you got VWAP at?
Let me go back to it. Which one? So Peloton. Oh, VWAP. I got it like at 409.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 409. 410. Yeah, that area right there.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep, looking for that little kind of like trend line break, pullback recovery here. So maybe 409s, 407s, then it doesn't crack 401 on the downside. It starts coming back up. Doesn't look too bad to keep an eye on it for a day trade, right? That's the only way I'd trade it. Looking around, man, there's not much right now. I'm definitely seeing Jumaya, specialty retail stock. I think they call it like the Amazon in Africa, but hey, nice lift today. All right, looking around, man, there's not much that was on my radar that was getting the lift. SPY starting to struggle. The Q's coming down here, guys. So we could start seeing a crack there. AMD cracked. It trapped. Now it's pulling back there. So be careful out there, guys. Success starting to lift. So that tells me more and more that bearish action could be out there. So watch out, guys. You could start seeing that bearish action come in.
Volume's just died off at the moment.
Looking at Celsius here for a potential short. Trying to get 76.30s here. All right, got the starter there. Starter, just 10 shares. Celsius, short. You got it at 76.30s. So I'll put a little circle there so you guys can see where I'm at. Let's make it red. The red. Going to the dark side on the short side of things. All right, 76.15 starting to show up there. Let's see if we can get this to start to crack here. So what I'm looking for is kind of what I call a VWAP rejection play. So it's above VWAP, right? It recovers VWAP, then an up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. Shouldn't really kind of break and hold in 77. That's actually the bullish move. So it's kind of like on that in-between stage where it can do the breakout to the bulls or start to break down and give the bears what they're looking for, which is that crack of probably towards 71.
You got starter short on that, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 10 shares. Something small, right? To start, because the truth is the range is pretty big, right? 71 to 76, like 30s, that's $5.30.
Yeah, I'd like to see push up and a rejection if I can get it. Just a little bit, maybe 77. See what we get. Where are you okay to add to on that?
Break of 75.50s, I can start to try to jam in there and then holds off the 76.65s. So right around that level, especially this 76.24, in that little gap space, I'm looking to see some trap action to the upside. Then all of a sudden really quickly start sweeping to the 75s. As I see that, I'll be looking for on the tape, I'd be looking for that bid action just to show up and just bid, just start smacking down. So those are the types of actions that I'd be looking for to show conviction, right? A lot of times when I take the trade, I'm looking for now action to show me that conviction. MTC going soft. There's the action. So you see how like that quick action right there, hard rejection. Now I'd want to see the 75.50 break first, and then I can start shorting anything above that. If I go to short right now and add to it too early, it can just quickly, the offer is back to 76.60s, and that wasn't very wise of me of losing my average. So now that I'm getting that confirmation, now it's like telling me, okay, not too bad on the timing aspect. Now let's see if the trade actually wants to fulfill. The action is looking good. It shouldn't essentially be higher than this on any closing action. So essentially, this could be my risk right here, but it'd have to be on the close, right? Because you can still get the offer to jump up there. All right, guys, let's look around. Let's see what else is happening. PayPal with a little bit of a pullback. SPY's been pulling back, kind of recollecting there. And then we'll look around to see some other trades to see if you guys see anything moving. How did that Peloton do? Oh, it's right back into that spot here where I think it could get bought up, which is the 405 range. But I'd hold off with $4, so it'd be such a tight trade. Did Mullen ever make it back? No, it didn't. All right, what else is going on in the space today, guys? If you guys have tickers, it's 10:02. I did see some names jumping in there, so drop in some of those names. What do you guys want to see me trade? I'm willing to take a shot right now. It's time for you guys know what time it is. It's time where you choose to trade, guys. Smash the like. Drop in those tickers. Let me know what's the trade you guys want to see happen right now. All right, drop it in there, guys. What are you guys seeing? What are you guys looking for? Is it MTC? I don't care trading that one. You guys let me know. It's pulled back to the 344s. Might take a shot on that one. What do you guys think? What do you guys like? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a stop here for the Celsius. It's already kind of pushing a little bit to the 63s. Could get the offer to jump to the 77. So I'm going to put 77.30. So I can only risk about $1 there. Do 32 just to give myself a little bit of some space there. There you go. Set up the stop, and now going to look to see the trades. So I'm seeing short G-Sun. I'm seeing Tesla. I'm seeing G-Sun mentioned twice. What's up with G-Sun? Let me take a look at that. That's up there to $7. Almost up to what is it? There you go. That one's definitely one that we can go after. You guys want to see a short on that? Let's get after it. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so this went to 716, rejected, fast rejection from that 716. That's a known resistance in the past. We've had another drive here. So you got the second drive. Now you're getting a pullback. I'm going to look for one more fake out to 7. Make it look like it's going to go to 7. Then I can jam it down to the VWAP. About 550s would be the target. So let's see if we can get this to start getting a little bit of a lift. And then I can come after it. Since it's a fast mover, I can only probably go 50 shares on this, but I don't mind trying to take a little bit of a position here. I'll do it in 25 lots, but let's see if this can start to make a little bit of a lift, and then I can come after it. G-Sun. All right, just need a little bit of a lift. This is where it kind of gets a little bit harder, right, for me to do this trade for you guys, because I'm always going to try to get the better position, right? Not just jump in where it is at the moment, because that's easy, just a way to get wrecked. Let's see what happens with this G-Sun, if it can make one more pop so I can start to get short on it. So trapping some shorts right here as they're chasing the cut down. It comes back, stops those guys out, and then I'm able to nail on it. So Somewhere in this area is what I'd like to look for.
It's whispering on the tape. G-Sun.
Still not coming back up to that
No,
675 just yet. MTC also back to the 349 spot. That looks interesting for the 350 push again. That's just on another one. ESPR, possible bottom. Are you seeing that one, Scott?
I'm seeing it have broken the buy side pull, so I'd expect to see a pullback and then some form of continuation. But if it gets back up there, up into 225, and I hear that on the tape, then maybe. But at the minute, not seeing a buy on that right now. Right, I see where you're going with that. Like those post-market lows, the switch on, and it's just tapped in and rejected off 214s.
All right, let's go. Let's make a little pop into that 650, 670 area. Want to come after this bad boy, but I need a little bit of a pop here, guys.
Peloton's struggling now with the fours, just breaking under 397.
Yeah. Mullen went back to the moving average, but I don't think that's enough for me to come after it there.
Here's a push on G-Sun.
There we go. A little bit more. Come on, get up to that trend line where the buyers will step in. I'm going to short off those buyers. So, like, I'm probably not the only one looking at that trend line, right? And so I'm looking for it to get into that space, and then I can get short. If I go too early, all of a sudden it pops on the offer, and I'm getting out immediately. So I'm trying to get in on the bid, but as it starts to come back to that 675, 7 range. If it just rejects here, then I can maybe chase it through 6, but it's chasing, and I hate chasing, guys. You guys call me out if you guys see me chase, because that's like the number one thing I try to avoid. There's no need to chase a lot of times in my eyes, in my psychology. Why? Because there's so many trades in the market, right? I don't need to go ahead and get out of my comfort just because I need to get in at that exact moment. I can wait and then tackle the stock. All right, how's that other one, MTC? Just hanging out there also. See what happens with these. MTC is an interesting one on this 350 area. Mullen trying to come back up to the VWAP for short. Let me know, Greg Scott. Got Scott's all over the place in here. Scott's taking over, man. Scott's.
BBS couldn't make it above that sell side liquidity either, so that's just taken rejection off of 530 on BBS. Peloton's still hoping to get a color change on here. Want this red to turn to green to see if we can get some more volume to the upside. Otherwise, that's looking a bit dubious on that play for me. G-Sun didn't make it, huh?
Yeah, dude, I'm like staring at it. I want the smallest pop, but really scalping is not really my bread and butter, guys. I don't really like to scalp. Then it's just too much risk in that sense. And then a lot of times if I do scalp trades, I won't even be able to tell you guys by the time I close the trade, right? And so I don't think that benefits anybody to learn off of that, because I'm literally like, I'm in, I'm out. Looking for any type of bounce here to get short on G-Sun, but not getting it right now. So I'm going to maybe switch over to just a MTC long here. I don't mind it. It doesn't look too bad there. It just needs to recover here and can make a nice little spike. Volumes died off on that MTC. go back to G-Sun here. I'm seeing a little bit of a little pop. There you go. It's trying to trap a little bit here. Make a little drive up into this space, and then we can get shorted. Starting to drive a little bit.
On the
620s. This is one of those hard ones, the penny name, right? I mean, you got to be careful with those. The thing that helps out is this stock has a tendency of doing pops and then drops. So looking to see if we can hold that 7 as resistance and then start to make our way back down towards 5. Would like to see a little bit of a blow off top trap here. So it just starts to spike through here. It spikes up maybe to 675. Looks like it's about to get to 690s, and then boom, rocket back down.
G-Sun's traded 18.3 million this morning on a float of 1.19 million. It's rotated so many times this morning. There's literally 1 million available shares to trade on this name.
SPY coming back and coming back fast, guys. Just to note that. Out on, yep, took a little bit of a hit there. Out on Celsius, just $11.90, guys. Something small, right? You guys see me playing small potatoes and then trying to get after it. Dun, dun, dun. G-Sun just hanging in there right now. It's just trying to build. Celsius is back to 77.60s. Coke came back down, so it could still break again. But I will watch it and need it to crack 76, change the trend. The Q's trying to get back up there. I don't expect it to, but I mean, hey, it's tech. You never know. AMD trying to recover there. Apple back down. Google hanging off the VWAP here, guys.
Oh, come on, G-Sun.
It's just hanging out, man. I'm watching, guys. I want to tackle it, but like always, guys, gotta wait for it. Gotta wait for it. Coin at the low of the day. I'll take a look at a coin. It's starting to turn around a little bit. Mara was one of the stocks we were watching yesterday. Mara's catching a little bit of some love after the action yesterday. Got the 20 where it caught some support. There's G-Sun.
Here it comes.
There we go. Let's get it ready here. Oh, come on. Limit. I'll just go market right now. All right, guys. Just got a starter there. 664s. Just a starter, 25. Want it to pop into the 80s and the 7s, and then I can add the other bit. So we wanted to get into this box. We started to get into that box, and now I'm starting to get my fills in. Order out to add a little bit here. Canceling for right now. Probably going to add it in 10. All right, just added a little bit more, 10 shares, trying to build it up. Got 35. Want to get to 50, but already rejecting a little bit, so that's actually a good sign now. Now it can just flush. So maybe I move back to 680s for the ad, but we're looking good here on this G-Sun short.
Come on, flush.
Yeah, let's get back to 5.
I'm on that as well. Right, that's a textbook for me. It could have been a little higher for textbook, but that's it. It's nice. It's a nice play.
I like it, man. We're getting after it. And that was you, chat. Smash the like on that one. All right, almost back down through 6 here. So if we can get through 6 and start to really break towards like 550s, I can take some profits at 550 and then try to nail this down to 5, I think, to get towards, which is the prior resistance. So seeing if it can come down to this price point. I'll show you guys right now. So you see here resistance somewhere in that space on the when it comes down. Back to you, Scott.
Where was that in relation to the VWAP? VWAP sitting there at 585, something like that.
Yeah, 580s. I don't expect VWAP to hold this time, but I'll see what happens here. All right. It did that fake out, right? Which is like it looks for the whole dollar, then turns back around. Like it went to 694s.
Yeah, and small caps like the 7 to 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they can get it, come on. I need the on these like when that you've got $1 million on the float. When you've got $1 million on the float, if they're gonna flush, they need to flush. The more they hang around.
Yeah, the more they hang around, they can come back. I agree with
Yeah.
that. All right, guys, as we crack 6 here, I'm going to actually put a stop to protect me on any action that comes back. But I wanted to see it break the 6 first. Start like getting like way away from my action. Then I can set a stop and just watch the stock work. I like that little attempt to go back up to 650s, rejecting. Now I really wouldn't even want to see 650s. All right, coming back a little bit here. See if we can get a rejection of the 50s. Rejection of the 650s is what's needed for me here. There we go. Nice rejection there. Candle going red now. Now I want to see it take out the 6 on the downside. So there's a lot of support that's been building up right around the kind of $6.10 to $6 range. So now I want to see that taken out. Anybody that bought off of 6 just gets washed now. So let's see if they can get washed. All right, we should get that break now to the downside here. So I'm not going to let it go back at least too much through my entry. So I'm going to put 671s out there as a stop just to make sure I don't get hit here. But at the same time, give myself the opportunity for the breakdown through 6. Let's go, G-Sun. Your time in the sun is done, and it's time to put you to sleep, my friend.
Come on, where's Trader Life when you need him? Come on, give us those second by second flush times like you normally do.
Where's the flush time here? What's it on the radar seem like? All right, guys, in just a few minutes, we'll be talking a little bit more about the dark pool action, and maybe there's some dark pool action going on in G-Sun. I'll tell you one thing, we'll be watching to see what happens here. I set my stop there at the 670s just to make sure if it does pop back, I can get back in it. I don't want to get caught on a spike to 7 now. At this point, I feel like it should let go. So we'll see what happens here, and G-Sun. SPY making another down move here and just kind of chopping around today. I feel like it's really a choppy day. We'll find out if we finally start to break down, but the chop out there is definitely present. PayPal pulling back now. Square rejecting a little bit there off the VWAP. Look at Celsius, man. This is the hard part about these types of trades. So that's why I went at it with a smaller share size. But look at that, guys. You see, this is kind of what I was trying to come after. That flush on Celsius. It went to 77.50s and then it went all the way down to 72. So that was like a $5 flush there. So you got to know the risk to return. Maybe I did it a little bit tight on this one. Probably maybe should have just done like a $2 risk for potential $5 reward or $6 reward. That would have made more sense. We'll see what happens on Celsius. That's just looking back, hindsight 2020. There he is. There's Trader Life. He said, dude, you got to wait, man. It's for the 11. It's when you get off that they'll flush it. That's how it is, Scott. That's how it is. They're waiting. They're waiting out there. They're watching.
Yeah, I've got that back on the tape. Hopefully that's just a little last attempt.
All right, back to the 650s here. Might end up stopping me out, guys. If it pops into the 670s, I'm going to get out of this one for a very, very tiny loss. I can take the profits right now and just take like $6, but I'm looking for a little bit more. I shouldn't get closed back above 650s. Like, I shouldn't see it close back up there. So it's giving myself the chance. I'd get stopped out right about here. So we'll see if it gets into that area. I tried to tackle it off that spike. Now it's time to let the market work. A lot of times you're going to take trades and you're going to get in this feeling that I'm in right now, right? And we like to talk about these feelings because the truth is not that many traders address them. Right now I'm in that in-between stage, right? I'm like, should I just continue with the trade? Should I just run to the profits? What should I do, Mitch? What should I do? Well, the truth is that a lot of times we're going to take trades based on an objective plan, right? And it gets to a point where you've now made the subjectiveness decision of taking the action and execution on the trade. At this point, I just want to sit back and let the trade work. What does that mean? Understand my levels of getting in and out and where I want profits. But at this point, the hard work is done. Now let's let the market do the work for me. We'll see what happens. Definitely smash it up out there, guys. Let's see if we can get a couple of some likes out here, guys. Hit it up, guys. Get some likes in there. Let's keep it going. You guys know where you're at. Trade the pool, of course. Smash it up. Geez, son. Trying to put me in the sun. What was that other one that we were looking at earlier? Was it TMC? No, it was the other one, MTC. There you go. Sorry about that, guys. That one's just falling.
Yeah, that was a push rejected. That was a push rejected. Getting a flush now.
Yeah.
Come on. Want it to be a proper flush, though. Give us a 50 cent.
All right. Let's go, G-Sun. Let's go, G-Sun. Oh. Oh, that came close to stopping me out, guys. 668 and back down through 4. So good thing to see that back down to 6. Now I just want to see that hold the 6 break now. I can actually put break even stop on the rest of this and just let it work. Just let it try to make me some profits today. At my 661, I'm just going to put 665 for right now, just to give myself the tiniest bit of room, but I can go ahead and just set the stop there and then just let it work. Limits to the downside action to take profits. I'm going to put 550 on the first profit, and then we can look to see if we get to 5. Setting up some profits. 492, so let's do like 498. The remainder of the 10 shares.
Got a starter on BVS.
All right, let's do it, guys. Trying to tackle down the G-Sun. I really like that blow off. This is what I mean by blow off, when you get like this wick action where it looks like it's about to like take off. And then it's just a topping action. It's just wick, super wick. Remember how I said like not looking for close 650 above? That's what we got here. And it did go above 650, but it didn't close above 650s. Now, close back above 650 would give me a bullish look. So I want to be out then. All right, looking around to see what else is in the market and what we can trade, what's going on. eBay having a decent day. Intel having a decent day. Intel. Whew. Man, that thing's made a huge pullback. This looks like that undercut and rally type of trade. Doesn't look bad at all. It's just difficult because it's one of the stocks that's been crushed. So it's kind of like an inverse Head and Shoulders. It's not much out there today. MSGM showing up on my scanner. This is Motor Sport Games. Man, that did a little bit of a spike there. And now it's been coming right back down. That's how these names are sometimes. You got to be careful, guys. You play these quick plays. Understand, it's hard to hold in them for a long time. Zeta. What's up with Zeta? Man, I don't know this one, but this thing is on a breakout. Have you heard of this one before, Scott? Zeta?
No.
Man. It's a strong looking chart for a low volume type of name that it's really getting some spike. It's just low volume. That's the problem with these sometimes. It's just such low volume. But showing up on the scanner, that's for sure.
Earnings play.
Peloton just hanging out underneath 4.
Tell me about
something, right? It's something, right? It's something there, just hanging out. Just needs a buyer to step in there. One of those big buyers.
I've had it twice at 4, so we'll see if anyone else wants to step in.
I might join you, my friend. I might join you. Just doing a little analysis here.
Another flush there down to 550s on G-Sun. $450s would be really nice.
Yeah, it would. It would. I'm looking for maybe a fake out to 392s and then a recovery through 4. Let's see if we can get that somewhere in that range. Does a little bit of a fake out and then starts to come back. So one thing that you know on this stock is kind of a little bit of a, what I talk about the rule of 3 kind of just coming within here. So this is where I like I show you guys my hand and how I trade a lot. A lot of that is based on that rule of three, and a lot of it is this kind of pattern like approach that I like to look for. So essentially, I don't look for breakouts sometimes. Sometimes I'm just looking for it to develop the support. And so in here, we're getting multiple times where the stock's pulling back, right? So here's the first layer of support. Second layer comes in here, right? Now we're getting that kind of third layer of support. So it could come back into that 390s, give you a wick, and then a recovery out of it. I look for this all the time, guys. I'm just, a lot of times it's trying to build up a position and understand that I'm looking for a support test. And so when the down action comes in, I don't freak out. I'm like, okay, I was looking for this. Now it's time to execute. Things like that are important. All right, GSUN now down to 548. Let's go, guys. We got our first profits. First profit hit there on 550s. Let me see where I got the exact fill. 550 right there. Boom. $27 now in the green for the day, and just working up, guys. Just working it up. GSUN next profit is going to be $5, guys. I think I'm going to get it right here. If it can just break down just a little bit more, I'm going to take the profits at 5, get all out of the trade. And remember, this was a trade that you guys chose to trade. So shout out to you guys. I'll give you guys a little pat on the back. Let's get after it. All right, Scott, in a second, let's get into some dark pool action. I know that you're taking some trades on right now, so if you want to wait a second, by all means, but we're going to talk about some dark pool action. We're talking about dark pools all week, so if you guys have any questions on dark pool, let us know in the chat. Hit us up. You guys can also hit us up also in the Discord. Just let them know, hey, ask the live trading guys to talk about this. That's what we're here for, guys. We're here to try to help you guys continue to grow, so smash that like.
So the topic of today is advantages and disadvantages of dark pools, and it would be nice if we was kind of talking about something that could actually, you know, help you guys out. But what it is the advantages and disadvantages for the institutions and the market itself, really, when it comes to dark pools. So let's have a quick look at. I think the blog on Trade the Pool. I don't know whether you guys ever head on over here or not, but this lists it out. Let's grab this over here. This lists it out pretty good. Let me see there. So, there we go. What are you ha-ha-haing about when I'm going into the dark pools?
Great Scott out there giving me some alerts out there. I told you, Scott, keep an eye on it for me. That's what I like to hear, man.
All right, I'm bringing it over. I'll keep my eye on that, GSUN.
All right, what you got for us? Advantages.
Right, so it's correct. We said yesterday that this is all about anonymity and those big players trying to get their market, their orders in, without affecting the price of what you see on the exchange. So if you've got a big seller in there that wants to sell, 20% of his holding in a company, could be an insider or not, but a big institutional holder wants to get rid of that 20% of the company. That's not going to look good if they all of a sudden start, appearing on the level 2 that there's a seller wanting to sell 2 million worth of a particular stock. So that's what goes into the dark pool. They'll put those conditional orders in and they'll break them up. They'll break them up into smaller sizes, but you will still, as I said yesterday, see them go through as in between orders on the tape. And that's the only way you can really kind of, as a retail trader, check that. You won't see it on the level 2, but you will see it on the tape. And the reason they are doing that, they're so en masse that they get the lower transaction costs. There's no reason for them to pay the exchange costs on that. So they're going through for lower transaction costs. And as we said, the anonymity part of it is that's what it's all about. No one has to disclose their buy side or sell side. And you don't have to disclose the actual order itself for anyone to see until it's been placed. So unless you're literally looking at the at the tape, you're not going to see that. You're just going to end up seeing part of the move, as opposed to a crash that it could actually could occur if they put that all in on the exchange. The criticisms and concerns, or the disadvantages for it generally, again, not really impacting retail traders, but it's for the regulators really, which is a lack of transparency. What is it they're actually doing in those dark pools? We've been caught out a number of times, with benchmarks, with LIBOR manipulation, with FX rates. There's a few fines been about for those banks and some large names. So I think the regulators are worried about that to some extent. So that's why they're asking for those forms to be filled that we went into yesterday, those ATSN forms. They're asking them to fill out those forms. And when you go in and look at those forms, that's where you learn, these guys don't trade pre-market. So that's why when stocks run, especially the small caps in pre-market, if there's a job to do, if they've got some warrants to exercise at $15, they can run that up from $2 to $15. Everyone exercises their warrant straight out in pre-market, and that is the job done. Therefore, it's on everybody's scanners. But like I said, that business has been conducted already. There's no other reason. You might get a pop on that stock, come back, but generally that's going to be game over for the stock if that business is conducted there. Market fragmentation with trade scattered across that public and private venues. There's a risk that the public exchange might lose enough trading volume. So if everyone heads over, most of the retail volume gets executed over at dark pools. A lot of the investment management companies get executed over at dark pools as well as some of the hedge funds. So it's like, is it taking too much business away from the actual exchange itself? However, the exchange has a little dark pool of its own, so it's still it's not losing out too much on the money side of things. So, and the regulatory challenges, as I said, try private trading venues. What goes on behind those closed doors? They try and extract that information out by giving them those forms to fill out and what they have to declare. But it makes quite an interesting read. Let's see. I don't know if I've got who would have had. Jeffries and Daiwa. Let's have a look, see if I've got their guidebook. So Direct is a dark pool, that Daiwa Japanese bank use. It's their product, and you could read through this and just see, they're cross matching. So they're cross matching buyers and sell orders. So it's all done in-house, like their own little exchange. And they have and we were talking about these yesterday, in fact, going into a little bit more detail than today. They have these order types. So market or limit orders, obviously, we're all familiar with them. Time in force, again, we're kind of familiar with that. Fill or kill, you may not use it yourself, but that's basically fill my order in its entirety. I've got 200,000 shares to sell. I want you to sell them all or nothing. That's a fill or kill. IOC is something, or cancel. It's a partial, basically. It's if I've got 200,000, you can execute as much of that as you can and then cancel the rest. So that's the IOC. And then obviously you've got icebergs. So the whole point of the iceberg is that you can see the tip of that. So the tip of that may be on level 2, for example. You may be able to see it might be in a light, literally, exchange, and you can see the tip of that order. But the whole rest of that mountain of the iceberg that exists under the water is actually in the dark pool, and they're the ones that are going to go through. So that's where that conditional orders can come in. You can say, yes, execute some of this at the national best bid that you've got at the moment, and then the rest, I want you to give me a little latency so no one else can front run me, and then put that through on the dark pool. So all the matching rules they've had can be defined in here as well, who the counterparties are within. If you're interested in that, you can go and take a read of this. But there was one thing that I was in here. See if I can still find it. It was the smart order routing. We've probably heard of smart order routing. A lot of our brokers say, yeah, we've got smart order routing in place. And you feel like you're getting like a DMA access direct to market. Well, is that market the exchange, or is that market being directed to the dark side? I was going to say to the dark liquidity pool. Well, that's where these orders come in. Now, let me see if there's there. So when you've got
It's not just jumping in there. The smart order, is it smart for them or is it smart for me?
Well, right, exactly. So look at this one. Look at this one. You've got sequential. Okay, new orders are going to be routed in the best marketable price, followed by the quantity and venue. So they're giving you the criteria. It may not, first in, first out, as opposed to the biggest size. So you can make that call on conditional routing as well. But look at this for a little order strategy. A fast sweep. It takes a snapshot of the aggregated order book, and the aim is to remove all marketable liquidity simultaneously across the multiple venues. Any remaining unmarketable quantity will be routed to the primary exchange. So that is a sweep. We hear that a lot more being bandied about on education courses and, waiting for the sweep to occur. So there it is. There is a fast sweep and a BBO sweep as well. So yeah, look into that. But just it's good to be aware of. It's when you see like you feel like, I think as a retail trader, you're going to say you got stop hunted or whatever it is. Just be aware that those pools of liquidity are generally sitting higher than you think they are or lower than they think you are, which is not great advice to give you, but that's what I mean. If you're thinking this is going to come back to a double top on GSUM, well, actually the liquidity is sitting just a little bit lower, which you may or may not expect. So that's something that I always anticipate. And likewise, if we break this liquidity pool, you might be thinking, well, okay, I'm waiting, this is going to double top, but generally it doesn't, because then the next liquidity pool is much higher than what we think it is, because that's when you're going to get a complete sweep. They clear the book, and then we're left licking our wounds, basically. So that is what we've got for you today, and I think that fast sweep order and those type of orders on conditional is the most kind of eye-opening thing for retail traders if they go and look for it. And tomorrow we've got another subject, but I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to do that, because I think it's the strategies that we can apply. So I think it's the strategies that what can we implement to avoid getting caught up in that, rather than a specific strategy itself. But we'll certainly take a look at that tomorrow, you guys.
I like it. Definitely dark pool is something definitely to be known about, right? I mean, too many retail is in the dark, and understanding how that works. So smash the like for us bringing that topic and keeping going right here. Of course, it's 10:43, guys. We're going to keep going till 11. Smash the like, hit the subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, you guys will see that light up right below. Hit that subscribe. Let's keep going, guys. Coming after Mullen here, guys, and I need to be focused in because, of course, it's a fast mover. I have an average at 546 here. Want to really kind of hold off this kind of 566 range, 567 range. Don't want it to go through that. So we'll see what happens here as it is spiking a little bit. Want to see it come right back down to 510s. Of course, you guys know how I feel about Mullen. We'll find out. All right, so it is pushing a little bit here. Got to be careful because the spread is about 8 cents wide here. So if it starts going into the 570s, definitely need to get out.
BBVS struggling to find any bids here. I just trapped between, literally between two pools here on BVS. So literally from these most recent swings, trapped between this level here, long off of this 488 area. 488, yeah, 488. Again, needing to anticipate this break, but I know it's there, right? I know it's there. So if it comes back at me and I get sell side volume coming in, I'll give it one more opportunity, I think, around this 480 level to come into or not. We've got those moving average players in there. We've got the bottom of the channel. And then if we crack there, then I'll think about getting out. Similarly on Peloton, had to do a very similar thing here. We've taken that out just below there down to the 200 before it starts making a look back. But again, that sell side, I'm aware, is sitting right there, and the long isn't on until really for any kind of reward until that level is cracked.
All right, guys, still playing with some GSUN, watching to see if it gets back above 550. I still got 10 shares of that. Want to see that continue to come down. That's GSUN, of course. Just watching that on the side as I'm watching Mullen here.
What's GSUN doing on the tape?
Just hanging out, trying to recover 550. You can kind of see that all obvious. Let's see if it comes back through that 550 or not. Getting that test on Mullen. It might get me out right here, guys.
I've covered GSUN. Had 100 shares on that, so I just took that off.
The money and ran, right?
Yeah. I've been caught out before. It's like I'm just kind of waiting for that buy side pull. I've done it a number of times where on the when we've got like micro floats coming in, if it comes back on the tape there, it kind of just misses my target there at 5. And this is a big stack, right? There's 2 swings here, this one and the whole swing up that it's done this morning. So this one's the resting pull, but I like to see it come into these pulls. If it doesn't, it could give more upside. And at the minute, if it does come back to its most recent sell side, you're kind of going to have to wear 6 unless this is just a pop on the tape to short. But right now.
All right, guys, set to stop there for Mullen. Want to go take a look at SOX S here, guys. So I'm looking at potentially to see if the market starts to head down here. It does look a little weak here, so I'm wondering if we start to get a downside action or do we get that upside rip out? I think either or, we're going to get an attempt right now on the overall market to make a move in one direction. And whenever that happens, I look to see if I'm able to tackle the trade. GSUN, I'm probably going to have to cover here, guys, as it's starting to get a little bit of a pop above the 550s.
Scott C, did you take that ESPR at the lows? It did come back in to that buy pull. GSUN just gone quiet. Did you cover that? GSUN's just gone quiet on the tape.
Not yet. Just setting a 570 get out if I need to. But this is the type of stock that I feel like if it fails this move here, it gets to 5. So right now it's just try to let the stock work for me. I've already taken good profits on it. Now I just want to look for the profit number 2, which would be down to 5. We'll see if we get it later. All right, let's go look at that trade here for the Qs to start coming down versus up. It is setting up there on the Qs to come up, but I think it might do a hard rejection there. Big stock to watch, I think, also is AMD. It's been like just volatility, like move up and down, up and down, up and down. The daily chart still points to the upside on it. So I'm looking to see what happens with that because I think it's going to determine it. And also NVIDIA. Right, NVIDIA is just hanging out right off of the moving averages, and will it come back on the day or will it just start to decline? If NVIDIA starts to come down here, maybe we get that actual decline we're looking for. Mullen. Almost getting me out there, guys. I have it stopped there at 572. Got real close. Might take a hit on Mullen, but I'm going to do it in a try to be controlled manner. And I think that's so important, guys. Don't ruin your profit and loss ratio that you've been pushing on. Success. Come on, Qs, what you gonna do? Susie Qs are trying to get a little bit of an up move here. So that's why I didn't react too quickly. I wanted to see what happens with the Qs first. I can maybe come after it here, but they're trying to get a little bit of a lift. Maybe it starts to push here. SPY did try to push also. Stock that looks good there in the big boy names, right? Look at Google, a nice little buildup off the VWAP, just pushed off of it. Let's see if it takes out the next level. Amazon's been, as of lately, hot. It's pulled back there and now starting to come back up. So those are names that I keep an eye out. And Tesla's weak. Can this start to make its way back up? We'll find out. Netflix not doing too bad on the day, already recovered 600. Disney still dragging down to 105 now. Airbnb on the radar, that's had pulled back. That has earnings tonight. Definitely keep your eyes open for that. Lulu. How did PayPal do? That was one that we were watching earlier. Now it's starting to build back here. So it's giving me the opportunity to take it back at the 66 level. So if I want to take it off 66, I have a trade there available to me. All right, are we going to get a lift for lunch off? Yep, NVIDIA getting a little bit of a push. I kind of like this. I'm going to look for PayPal here. Did take the hit there on Mullen, but just shaking it, man. Shaking it, guys. Only down about 16, even though we've had a good trade on GSUN. Could probably take the profits and get myself back to break even on the day. Just letting that GSUN work here. Where are we at, GSUN? There we go. We get into that 5 spot there. It hit 495. Let's see if we break that. If not, I'm just going to take the profits on GSUN here as we're back down into the spot here. See what we can get.
We got 5, did we?
Yeah. I just didn't have the limit out there.
Nice.
So we got 5 already. It hit 490s, 495. So at this point, I'm just looking for it to flush off of the 520s and then just keep coming down. Just keep fading. Say if you ain't trading, you ain't fading. And this one was a nice one. This one was brought to you guys by you guys. You guys chose this trade. So shout out to you guys. Smash the like, guys. If you guys enjoy Trade the Pool, trading with you guys. Let's see what else. And then we'll do a recap in just a second here. It's about 10:52, guys. We'll get to that recap just as quickly like that. The day is already wrapping up at least. And like always, we're going to keep trading. If you guys out there, if you guys are in the Discord, keep up with that. If you guys aren't in the Discord, let me know if you guys want to jump in. I'll drop in a link for you guys to join right now. GSUN, let's go. Telling you, we did the sunset trade on this one today. It was kind of interesting because I was looking at some solar names and I was like, is GSUN like a solar name? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to mess with that. I'm not going to mess with that. Sometimes the tickers, man, they get you. Q's trying to lift off there. See if we get the lift or not. PayPal came down and it's back up there, guys. I kind of like that trade. I missed it on the pullback right now because I'm focusing on GSUN profits. But PayPal does look pretty interesting there. Back above 66.17. I don't mind this one at all. I can take like kind of a little bit of a kind of a swing trade attempt here on PayPal. I would just do smaller size and then getting after it here, and then hold off to kind of the 66 level. I think this can make it back to like 66.50s. See if I can get 66.15s on pullbacks here and then take a shot. I like it though. Square starting to make its way back. Not too much there. Qualcomm, nice little move there. Intel was hot earlier. Pulled back here. Can just get the next lift here. SCO. Adobe. And strong there. GSUN. Let's go. So make that next break here. All right. The balance, the battle's on, guys. Zeta. Starting to make a downturn there. been watching this stock. It just seems like it's just a blow off top. Stock has made a couple of drives, failing now, putting a big bar in. $15.59, 15.60s doesn't look like too bad of a trade there. Maybe come back after for 15.50 move. There's the attempt if I want to take a shot there on it on Zeta. Don't know too much about this one, so I'm trying to consider what are the options here. It's now or never. Let's go for it. See if I can get 58s here. I hammer down. Then I gotta hold off 1570s. Do the recap, but you know how it is, man. Traders gotta trade. Traders gotta trade, right?
You got it.
You know it, man. All right, that's already flushing there. See if I can get it just a pop to 1555s. And then put the limit order out there. All right, limits out there for 1555. Let's go to G-Sun and go take some profits, man. That's a nice win there. 1490s. Let's go. Let's see if we can break a little bit. If not, just going to run to the profits here on G-Sun. What a nice win there on G-Sun, man. All right, let's take it. Boom. Taking the money and running there on G-Sun, guys. Not a bad trade at all. I'll tell you guys all about it right now coming up here. And then Zeta is another one I'm trying to get in, but it's all dependent on if I can get it or not. There you go. Got the fill there on Zeta. We'll watch to see this short here. So not bad. It got 50 shares at 1555. Let's go ahead. Let's do a review here. Let's get to it, Scott. Do you want to? I'll let you lead, and then I'll get into it as I'm nailing down this Zeta trade. Let's get after it, guys. It's time for our daily recap.
So G-Sun, same trade, different exit on G-Sun for different reasons. Obviously, you know, I go by the tape here. So short originally from the benchmark 1, didn't work out. So short from up there closer to benchmark 2 on that replay and down there to 544 on the cover where it come back in on the tape. And then Peloton, I'm still in Peloton. So a quick look. I was in there. Peloton. So Peloton, it was off this buy side play. It was off this buy side pull. I let it settle down for the 200 EMA. So that was an add, then an add further down, sat through that drop down, and then it's now coming back. I'm sitting on this sell side liquidity pool. So that's what's causing me an issue at the moment. The question is, you know, to get any real momentum coming back on this play, we have to break above and close above this 412. So if it starts to go down under, I'll have my newest buy side sitting there as protection for it. So if I close now under 390, that will be me out of Peloton. And then BVS, very similar play on BVS, but it's the volumes just all come out of it at this time of day. BVS, again, buy side liquidity play. Grab that up. It's literally where I'm in from. So literally the same issue having there, which is I'm in the buy side pool looking for it to work out. I know the pool's there, but I also know to get more upside, I've got to break above it, which is not done yet. So I'll give that a little bit more time. Again, my stop's just going to be under here, kind of 475 on that. But yeah, that is just where we're at, is where the entry was. It's still the same play for me. We're just looking for a bit of momentum and a bit of volume to come back for BVS. That's my 3.
All right, I'll come into it now and talk a little bit about the GSUN trade, right? I mean, this was a really nice one, guys. We talked about it in the chat. You guys chose it, looking for the short on this. So it's talked about maybe a spike back into this area for the trend line break, and that's exactly what we got here. Not a bad move at all on GSUN. We got short there, 25 shares, then 10 at 654, 664s. Wanted to get some in the 690s. Didn't get that next ad, right? But that's okay. It manages the risk. Then we got the downside break. Took profits into the first move, which is that 550 move, right? Had the limit out there, got hit on that first downside action, then just hung around. And by hanging around and setting a stop at my break even, couldn't lose on the trade or lose from that moment on. I even set here 580s to make sure that it didn't get back above. Got the next downside action move and was able to take another profit down to 486 from 664 top shares down to 486. Not bad at all, guys. You know, we're talking, you know, close to $1.20 there. So not bad at all there on GSUN. And we're going to keep going after it, guys. It's always not going to be, you know, so easy, not going to be always the great every trade green, but definitely battling today. Celsius was the loss here today, guys. I'll show you guys that trade right now really quickly. Let's take a look at what that trade did here. So, of course, you guys see me here trying to get short, and then trying to hammer this down. It eventually came down, but right back up. That's how these trades can sometimes do it. They can stay within the range, but eventually went down to that 72.40s, right? So that could have been something that I was getting after. It's all about risk to return in this case. It didn't work out for me in Celsius, but there's going to be some greens. There's going to be some reds. The thing that I think matters today is, as you guys can see, I lost on Mullen. I lost on Celsius, but my one GSUN trade, what kept me pretty much break even. I'm down 86 cents. That's even after execution fees, about $8. So essentially kind of break even. And as you guys can see, I'm battling with this account. I'm in the green on the account, just trying to keep battling. Overall projected balance, just kind of in the battles right now. And that's what matters first. I always say for day traders out there, first, try to be in the survival game. Then we're going to try to be in what? The break-even game, where you're just trying to just make it, right? Then you get small profits. Then we go into the thriving stage where we can really take some swings to get some big equity moves. I hope you guys continue pushing forward. Enjoy Scott and I battling with you guys every single day here. Of course, we run it through Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, but you guys can reach out to us on Thursdays and Friday. Let us know what trades you guys are looking for, what trades is on your radar. We're always going to keep trading. That's just what we do. So I had a great day with you, Scott. I appreciate you like always.
Likewise, man.
It here. And we're doing great. We're starting to really build. And you guys out there on Twitter right now watching, it's over 65 of you guys out there. Join us sometime on the YouTube side of things. We don't mind you guys jumping in, naming some stocks. We're always looking for some trade ideas. So if you guys want to join us, by all means, go ahead and do so. I'm still in this Zeta trade. I'll let you guys know exactly what happens with that. But other than that, that's going to do it for us today. It was a great show. Appreciate you guys like always. Scott, any last words?
No, all good. See you guys tomorrow.